What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today I want to go ahead and discuss a game that probably all of you guys have already heard about, and that game is High on Life. To be honest with you guys, I was a little bit worried about this game in the very beginning. Hearing the creators of Rick and Morty coming over and basically developing a game, I didn't really know what to think about the overall situation. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Rick and Morty. I love their style, I love their humor, but let's be real here. When TV shows or movies try to tap into the game market, typically it's a little bit rough. Some people are able to push through with it, but more than likely it's a little bit rough. And when games try to tap into the TV show or movie market, once again, there's some out there who partially did it decently, but 9 times out of 10, it's typically butchered. So, like I said, I had to be real. I was a little bit worried hearing that they're going to go ahead and put together a game. But it's actually extremely fun, and it seems across the board, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Tons of gamers out there think that not only, is the story extremely fun, but the dialogue is extremely fun and, catchy to want to follow along with. And even the gameplay is actually pretty darn fun. Even though I would say the biggest highlight of this game really just, comes down to the story and the dialogue and stuff. It's just awesome. But at the end of the day, overall, as a package, it's not too shabby. And you got to think on top of all that stuff, it's on Game Pass. So if you do have Game Pass on your Xbox or on your PC, you're able to go ahead and play this game completely free of charge. And in my opinion, that is a massive game changer. This is allowing people to try out huge, massive titles. These aren't little, tiny games, little indie developed games. No, these are huge, massive titles that are being put together, that are being, put out on Game Pass for completely free. Well, not free, but you get what I'm saying here. Much cheaper than your typical price. And I gotta say, this is the way to go. What better way of getting people to purchase Game Pass than putting out brand new titles that are absolute bangers that encourages people to want to go ahead and buy into Game Pass. And the best part about the whole thing is how they're able to keep the identity of the show alive while still allowing it to have its own identity as well. Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites are a perfect example of this, made by the same creators. And it has the same comedy style, it has the same animations, all that good stuff. But it still feels completely different and unique. And that's what makes these guys so epic. They just know how to differentiate their stuff without taking away the core humor and the core, stuff that people love about it. And they did that perfectly within this game. But despite all of these things being done correctly, it seems that at the end of the day, the major top-tier critics, the big dog reviewers, not, people on YouTube or something. I'm talking about the organizations who are made just for strictly reviewing games. They don't completely agree with what all of us have to say as well about this title. If you haven't seen already, pretty much across the board, all of the hardcore gamers, all of the communities out there, all of us individuals who are trying to casually enjoy the experience, we are rating this game extremely high. We are considering this a top tier title. While all of the hardcore, organized critics out there are saying that this game is extremely mediocre. Not awful. They're not saying it's the worst game in the universe, but it is basically extremely basic, extremely ordinary, not really worth your time, not really worth your purchase, not even worth, picking up Game Pass just to go ahead and play this game as well. And it really makes me sit back and think, do these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to any type of game out there? Do they play games? Do they enjoy games? Are they passionate about games? Are they passionate about the project? Do they understand any of the concepts that's going to put together a solid video game title? From what it seems like to me, no, they don't. And it really sucks because I know the majority of you guys don't fall for, the mainstream reviewer crap. You either go based off of your own opinions, off of seeing gameplay or even testing gameplay, or you look for some more reliable reviewers. There's people out there like the Angry Joe Show or the Act Man who put out fantastic reviews, who are hardcore gamers, who just are very passionate about projects out there, who will give very honest opinions. So there are people out there who do a fantastic job with reviewing, and a lot of us, the community, have found these individuals. But that doesn't speak for everybody. There is still a huge, massive, casual crowd of gamers. You got to keep into consideration, even though these reviewers out here are making a lot of views, that still isn't even, I don't want to say it's not, a small portion out of the massive gaming community, because it is. But it is a small segment compared to, realistically, how many people actually play games on a day-to-day basis. You know, the massive reviewers, these huge organizations, they get their voices out to absolutely everybody across the board. People who don't watch YouTube, people who don't watch live streams, people who don't watch individual content creators, people who don't look for any other reviewers, they get their voice out to everybody. And no matter how hard we try right now, it just sucks because I know at the end of the day, they're still going to be able to get a massive influence on the gaming community. And in my opinion, that's completely unfair because the people who are giving these massive reviews for the overall community aren't even, like I said in the beginning, hardcore gaming fans. You can Google or look up so many different other videos on YouTube of these game reviewers who do work for these massive organizations who can't even get through basic levels of games. And you have to understand, these are the people who are putting out these articles for all of the casual gamers to see. And these are the ones who the casual gamers are listening to. It's completely backwards because they shouldn't be listening to those guys. Honestly, the other reviewers that I mentioned earlier, and even more reviewers out there who, do hard work on YouTube all the time, who are very passionate about these projects, they honestly should be the ones who are getting their voices heard across the world because those are the gamers. And even though they all don't share the same opinions, I would rather hear different opinions from real gamers than different opinions from people who, once again, don't even know what they're talking about. And we're talking about the same people who rate the worst of the worst Call of Duty games at the most top-tier scores every single year, while obviously the community is just having a mental breakdown, It's crazy because it literally seems that every opinion the community comes up with, they always come up with the opposite. It's like... It drives me honestly crazy. It drives a lot of you guys crazy as well. And it's really sad because it's not just going to affect these type of games. Because honestly, it will affect them, but it won't affect them as much as indie games, to be honest with you. Because these games are smaller, they depend on word of mouth, and all it takes is a handful of people to say it's absolutely garbage to completely kill off a whole fan base for a game. Maybe not the whole fan base, because there are going to be hardcore players who do not care, not even a bit, about, what any reviewer says about the title that they're enjoying. But it will cut off the future success, the potential, blow up that this game could have, all because of what a reviewer had to say. A reviewer, like I just said, that has no clue what makes a good game or even a bad game. And that will literally make or break a indie development team's game. But I guess at the end of the day, the whole purpose of this video was, I believe personally, that High on Life is just perfect for exposing these mainstream reviewers. Because, once again, it's a game that is honestly perfectly put together. Maybe not perfectly put together, but it's a very well designed game with a great story to back it up. It rightfully deserves a great rating. And having it on Game Pass as well, keep in mind, this game right here is basically going to start off a wave of different highly developed games that are going to be released on Game Pass. We want more of that stuff. We don't just want games that are, came from the past, that they're going to rework a little bit and then put them on Game Pass. We don't want just basic stuff or indie development. We want top tier content, maybe not all the time, but on the occasion, yes, we want a banger game to release on Game Pass, and this is what they're doing right here. My biggest gripe with the whole thing is that tons of people out there who might potentially want to give this game a try won't give it a try, all because someone says it's painfully mediocre, when in reality, it's not. It's a banger. Tons of fun, hilarious, and more than likely, you're going to enjoy every second of this overall experience, especially knowing that you can get it if you have Game Pass. So, give it a go. Give it a shot. And hopefully, these reviewers will be toned down a bit over the years. I can't imagine that they're going to continuously thrive on year after year after year because, like I said, we all aren't stupid. And even though there is a massive casual, gaming community out there, at the end of the day, more and more and more people open their eyes and see the bigger picture every single day. And that's good. So the further that we progress, hopefully we'll get to a point where we can get some really good legitimate viewers to be more at the top of the game compared to these other guys. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe with that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, we do so, Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do over on Twitch, link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.